Chapter: The How Beneath the Moon Chapter. Introduction. Introduction. 1,000 words. The small secluded town of Silvercrest nestled deep within the heart of North Dakota's Great Plain. For years it had been a quiet haven for those seeking solitude and serenity away from the bustling cities. However, in recent weeks, an unexplainable fear had gripped the town, as a string of brutal murders left the residents on edge. A journalist by the name of Ethan Carter had been drawn to the town, like a moth to a flame. He was no stranger to darkness and despair. In fact, he thrived in such environment. His career had seen him delve into some of the most horrific cases known to man. Yet something about Silvercrest called to him, the haunting whispers of secrets long buried beneath the oppressive weight of time. Ethan arrived at Silvercrest under the dim glow of a late autumn moon, his weathered black sedan weaving through the narrow streets lined with old-fashioned lamps that cast eerie shadows on the cobblestone roads. The air was crisp and charged with anticipation as he stepped out of his vehicle, his boots crushing the remnants of fallen leaves underfoot. Silvercrest appeared to be a quaint town from its exterior, but Ethan knew better than to judge by appearances alone. He had come prepared, armed with nothing more than his notepad and an insatiable curiosity for the truth. As he ventured further into the town, he noticed that every inhabitant seemed to bear the weight of a secret, whispering amongst themselves as they went about their daily routine. Ethan made his way towards the only bar in town, the Silver Moon Saloon, where he hoped to find some answers. Upon entering, he was greeted by the pungent aroma of spilled whiskey and stale cigarettes. It was dimly lit, with just enough light from the hanging lanterns to reveal the grimy walls adorned with dusty photos of men long gone. At the end of the bar sat a woman who stood out like a sore thumb amidst the sea of familiar faces. She was tall and slender, her jet-black hair cascading down her back in loose waves. Her eyes were as black as midnight, reflecting the shadows that danced around them. Despite the chilly atmosphere, she wore a thin white lace dress that fluttered gently against her skin. That was her name, and it rolled off Ethan's tongue like silk upon steel. He knew little about her beyond her striking appearance, but something about her captivated him. She was a mystery waiting to be unraveled, much like the events unfolding within Silvercrest. Ethan approached her with cautious steps, his curiosity piqued by the enigma that was Serena Vaughn. He couldn't help but feel that she held some answers about what was happening in the town. As they exchanged greetings and small talk, Ethan could sense a deep well of untold stories within her, stories that threatened to spill forth if he were to delve too deeply. The air between them crackled with an electric charge, as though their combined energy was drawing them closer together in some unspoken agreement. As the night wore on, they found themselves drawn into each other's lives, Serena regaling Ethan with tales of Silvercrest's dark past, while he shared his expertise in uncovering hidden truths. It was during this exchange that Ethan first heard whispers of an ancient curse believed to be responsible for the murders plaguing the town. According to local legend, a werewolf stalked the outskirts of Silvercrest under the cover of darkness, a creature born from vengeance and fueled by malice. The mere mention of it sent shivers down Ethan's spine, but he couldn't deny the eerie familiarity that came with every word spoken about the curse. As they sat there in the Silver Moon Saloon, the moon began to rise above the horizon, casting an ethereal glow over the desolate landscape beyond the saloon's windows. The atmosphere within the bar seemed to shift as well. A palpable tension filled the air, a warning that something was amiss. Serena looked up at Ethan, her eyes holding a mixture of fear and determination. "We have to find out more about this curse," she whispered urgently. "If we don't act soon, it could be too late." With those words, Ethan knew that his journey into the heart of darkness was only beginning. The truth lay hidden beneath the surface of Silvercrest, waiting patiently for someone brave enough to uncover its secrets. Or perhaps it was simply biding its time until the right moment to reveal itself fully. One thing was certain, Ethan Carter had stumbled upon something far greater than he could have ever imagined. And as the moon continued to rise higher in the sky, casting its eerie light over the town, Ethan found himself standing at the precipice of a nightmare from which there might be no escape. But he would not falter, for within him burned the fire of determination, fueled by his insatiable curiosity, an unyielding belief that truth could overcome even the darkest forces. Together with Serena Vaughn as his guide, Ethan embarked on a journey through the twisted labyrinth of Silvercrest's history, seeking to unravel the threads of this ancient curse before it claimed more innocent lives. As they delved deeper into the town's dark past, they discovered that the curse had not only survived but thrived over centuries, a testament to its power and resilience. With each passing day, Ethan grew increasingly desperate to find a way to break the cycle of violence and suffering that seemed to grip Silvercrest like a vice. The weight of responsibility weighed heavily upon his shoulders as he struggled to balance his commitment to unearthing the truth with his duty to protect those around him, particularly Serena, who had become more than just an ally or a source of information. She was now a friend and confidant whose life hung precariously in the balance. Yet even as they moved closer to unraveling the curse, new obstacles emerged from the shadows, threatening to derail their fragile alliance and send them spiraling into darkness once again. Ethan found himself confronted by his own fears and doubts, forced to question everything he thought he knew about the world and his place within it. And all the while, the full moon hung ominously in the sky above Silvercrest, a constant reminder of the terror that lurked just beyond the realm of human understanding. As the nights grew longer and colder, Ethan could feel the pressure mounting, the walls closing in around him as he struggled to find answers amidst a sea of uncertainty and fear. Despite these challenges, Ethan refused to give up hope, not for himself, nor for Serena or the countless others whose lives had been forever altered by the curse. With every new discovery, with each revelation that brought them closer to understanding the true nature of the werewolf's power, he felt a renewed sense of purpose and resolve. Their quest would not be easy, nor would it be without its share of bloodshed and sacrifice. But Ethan knew that sometimes, facing one's fears head-on was the only way to overcome them, even if it meant putting everything on the line in order to save those he cared about most. And so, under the watchful eye of the full moon, Ethan Carter prepared to confront the darkness that had taken root in Silvercrest and threatened the very fabric of reality itself. Armed with courage, determination, and in a fierce desire to see justice prevail, he stepped forth into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For it was only by embracing the terror that lurked within him could he hope to vanquish the werewolf once and for all. Chapter: Rising Action. Rising Action. As they ventured deeper into the labyrinth of Silvercrest's history, Ethan and Serena began to uncover the true extent of the curse's power. They found records detailing countless acts of violence perpetrated by the werewolf over centuries, each one more gruesome than the last. Yet, amidst this darkness, they also stumbled upon glimmers of hope. One such story caught Ethan's attention in particular, that of a brave woman named Eleanor who had lived during the 18th century. She had been born into a family lineage cursed by the werewolf, but instead of succumbing to fear and despair, like many others before her, she had chosen to stand up against it. Eleanor had discovered an ancient ritual that could weaken the curse temporarily, allowing those under its control to regain some semblance of humanity long enough to fight back against their monstrous alter egos. And so, armed with this knowledge, she had sought out other members of her family lineage, and together they had formed a small but determined band of warriors dedicated to ridding Silvercrest of the werewolf, once and for all. Their efforts had ultimately failed. The werewolf proved too powerful for even the bravest among them, and many lives had been lost in the struggle. But Eleanor's story served as a beacon of hope for Ethan and Serena, giving them renewed purpose and determination to continue their quest despite the seemingly insurmountable odds stacked against them. As they delved further into the town's history, they also began to piece together more about the origins of the werewolf curse itself. They learned that it had been born from a terrible act of vengeance committed by one of Silvercrest's earliest settlers, a man named Jonathan, who had been betrayed by his fellow villagers and driven mad with rage as a result. Desperate to exact revenge on those who had wronged him, Jonathan had performed a dark ritual that summoned a malevolent spirit from another dimension. This spirit then took possession of the bodies of its victims, transforming them into ravenous beasts capable of wreaking untold havoc upon the world around them. As Ethan and Serena explored these hidden depths of Silvercrest's past, they found themselves drawn ever closer to the heart of darkness that lay at the core of the curse, an ancient well located deep within the town's underground network of tunnels and caves. According to legend, it was here that Jonathan had first performed his fateful ritual, releasing the werewolf into the world. With each new discovery, Ethan found himself growing more desperate to find a way to break the cycle of violence and suffering that seemed to grip Silvercrest like a vice. The weight of responsibility weighed heavily upon his shoulders as he struggled to balance his commitment to unearthing the truth with his duty to protect those around him, particularly Serena, who had become more than just an ally or a source of information. She was now a friend and confidant, whose life hung precariously in the balance. Yet, even as they moved closer to unraveling the threads of this ancient curse, new obstacles emerged from the shadows. Ethan found himself confronted by his own fears and doubts, forced to question everything he thought he knew about the world and his place within it. And all the while, the full moon hung ominously in the sky above Silvercrest, a constant reminder of the terror that lurked just beyond the realm of human understanding. As the nights grew longer and colder, Ethan could feel the pressure mounting, the walls closing in around him, as he struggled to find answers amidst a sea of uncertainty and fear. Despite these challenges, Ethan refused to give up hope, not for himself, nor for Serena or the countless others whose lives had been forever altered by the curse. With every new discovery, with each revelation that brought them closer to understanding the true nature of the werewolf's power, he felt a renewed sense of purpose and resolve. Their quest would not be easy, nor would it be without its share of bloodshed and sacrifice. But Ethan knew that sometimes, facing one's fears head-on was the only way to overcome them, even if it meant putting everything on the line in order to save those he cared about most. And so, under the watchful gaze of the full moon, Ethan and Serena ventured forth into the depths of Silvercrest's underground network of tunnels and caves. They knew that they were approaching the heart of darkness itself, the ancient well where Jonathan had first performed his fateful ritual, releasing the werewolf into the world forevermore. As they descended deeper and deeper into this labyrinthine maze, the air grew thicker and heavier with each step they took. The walls seemed to close in around them, suffocating any trace of light or hope that remained. And yet, despite these seemingly insurmountable odds stacked against them, Ethan could not help but feel a strange sense of calm washing over him. He knew that the answer he sought lay somewhere ahead, perhaps even within himself. All he needed now was the courage to face his own fears and demons head-on, and the strength to overcome them once and for all. And so, with Serena by his side, Ethan steeled himself for the final confrontation with the werewolf curse that would determine not only their fate, but also the future of Silvercrest itself. Chapter Climax. As they approached the ancient well, the air around them seemed to grow thicker and heavier with each step they took. The walls of the underground tunnel closed in around them, suffocating any trace of light or hope that remained. And yet, despite these seemingly insurmountable odds stacked against them, Ethan could not help but feel a strange sense of calm washing over him. He knew that the answer he sought lay somewhere ahead, perhaps even within himself. All he needed now was the courage to face his own fears and demons head-on, and the strength to overcome them once and for all. And so, with Serena by his side, Ethan steeled himself for the final confrontation with the werewolf curse that would determine not only their fate, but also the future of Silvercrest itself. As they descended deeper and deeper into this labyrinthine maze, a chill ran down Ethan's spine. The air in the tunnels grew colder, the shadows longer, and an eerie silence seemed to settle over them like a shroud. It was as if time itself had come to a standstill, leaving only the faintest echo of their footsteps reverberating through the darkness. Finally, they arrived at the ancient well, the source of all the town's woes. A dark, malevolent presence seemed to emanate from its depths, filling the air with a palpable sense of dread and foreboding. Ethan knew that this was where Jonathan had first performed his fateful ritual, releasing the werewolf curse into the world forevermore. As they stood on the edge of the well, Serena whispered something in Ethan's ear, words so dark and forbidden that he could barely comprehend their meaning. She told him about her connection to the curse, how it had been passed down through her family line for generations. And she confessed the terrible truth, that she was destined to become the next vessel for the werewolf spirit, continuing its reign of terror over Silvercrest. Ethan felt a mixture of horror and disbelief wash over him as he tried to process this new information. How could Serena have kept such a secret from him? And what would become of her if she did not accept her fate as the next werewolf? As they continued to explore the depths of the well, Ethan couldn't help but feel like they were being watched, as if unseen eyes were following their every move. Suddenly, without warning, the ground beneath them shook violently, sending rocks and debris crashing down around them. In that moment of chaos and confusion, a figure emerged from the shadows. This was no mere ghost. It was the manifestation of the werewolf curse itself, seeking to claim another victim for its insidious reign. Ethan knew that they had come this far, delved so deeply into the darkness within themselves and their town's history, to finally confront this demonic presence once and for all. As he prepared to face the werewolf head-on, Serena stepped forward, her eyes shining with determination. "I will not become your next vessel," she declared defiantly, facing down the malevolent spirit that sought to claim her as its own. "I will end this curse and free Silvercrest from its grip." With these words, Serena reached into the depths of her being, drawing upon a power beyond anything Ethan had ever seen before. A radiant light blossomed around her, driving back the darkness and filling the air with a sense of hope and possibility. As she channeled this newfound power, Ethan could see the werewolf curse begin to falter, its hold on both Serena and Silvercrest slowly starting to fade away. But even as victory seemed within their grasp, a final twist awaited them in the shadows. A second figure emerged from the darkness. This time it was the spirit of Eleanor, Jonathan's betrayed wife, who had first summoned the werewolf curse in a desperate attempt to seek revenge for her husband's wrongful death. Eleanor appeared as a ghostly apparition, her eyes filled with sorrow and regret for the terrible deeds she had set in motion so long ago. She explained that the only way to truly break the curse was for both Jonathan and Eleanor to find peace and forgiveness within themselves. A task that would require them to face their own demons head-on, just as Ethan and Serena had done. With newfound determination, Ethan and Serena set out on a final quest through the depths of Silvercrest's darkest secrets. They visited each of the town's residents, helping them confront their deepest fears and insecurities, so that they too could break free from the curse's grip. In the end, it was up to Ethan and Serena to face Jonathan and Eleanor one last time, to help them find the peace and forgiveness they needed in order to lay the curse to rest for good. As they stood on the edge of the ancient well, facing down the spirits of the town's founders, a final confrontation ensued that would change their lives forever. In a moment of pure courage and selflessness, Ethan chose to sacrifice himself in order to help Jonathan and Eleanor find peace, ensuring that Serena could continue her work as the protector of Silvercrest without fear of the curse returning to haunt her again. As he lay dying at their feet, Ethan whispered words of love and gratitude to Serena, knowing that she would carry on his legacy and protect their town from darkness for generations to come. And so, with the curse finally laid to rest and Silvercrest freed from its shackles, Serena took up the mantle of guardian, vowing to protect her people and keep the memories of those who had come before her alive. As she stood on the edge of the ancient well, looking out over the town she loved so dearly, she knew that her life would never be the same again. But she also understood that she had been given a great gift, a chance to honor Ethan's sacrifice and carry on his legacy by protecting Silvercrest from any threat. With newfound strength and purpose, Serena stepped forward into an uncertain future, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage, determination, and the knowledge that she was never truly alone, for she would always have Ethan's love, guiding her every step of the way. She knew that Ethan's sacrifice had been the key to breaking the curse and freeing Silvercrest from its shackles once and for all. But she also understood that he would never truly be gone. His memory would live on through everything she did as the town's guardian. With newfound strength and purpose, Serena took up the mantle of guardian, vowing to protect her people and keep the memories of those who had come before her alive for all time. As she stepped forward into an uncertain future, she knew that she was never truly alone, for Ethan's love would guide her every step of the way. In the weeks that followed, Serena began to put her newfound powers to good use. She visited each of the town's residents, helping them confront their deepest fears and insecurities, so that they too could break free from the curse's grip. As the people of Silvercrest gradually began to heal, a sense of hope and unity started to spread throughout the town like wildfire. But Serena knew that there was still much work to be done, for she had also inherited Ethan's dreams for a better future. She decided to devote herself to improving the lives of her people in any way she could, starting with renovating the old schoolhouse into a community center where children could learn and grow together. As Serena poured her heart and soul into this project, she soon found herself surrounded by a new group of friends, people who had also been touched by Ethan's love and compassion during their time in Silvercrest. Together, they worked tirelessly to transform the once forlorn schoolhouse into a beacon of hope for the entire town. The grand opening of the community center was an event that the entire town looked forward to with eager anticipation. When the big day finally arrived, Serena stood on stage and addressed her fellow Silvercrest residents with tears in her eyes. "We have come so far since that fateful night when Ethan made his ultimate sacrifice. But we would not be here today if it weren't for him, for his love, his courage, and his unwavering belief in us." As Serena spoke these words, a hush fell over the crowd. But then, one by one, they began to clap and cheer, each person expressing their gratitude for everything Ethan had done and the newfound hope that now filled their hearts. In the months that followed, Silvercrest blossomed into a vibrant, thriving community, unlike any other. The people who lived there were stronger than ever before, united not just by shared experiences, but also by a deep and abiding love for one another. And at the center of it all was Serena, proudly wearing the mantle of guardian that Ethan had left behind. But even as she continued to lead her town down a path of progress and prosperity, Serena couldn't help but feel like something was missing, that there was still more work to be done in honor of Ethan's memory. And so, on the anniversary of his death, she decided to embark on one final quest, to find the resting place of Jonathan and Eleanor's souls, and ensure that they found the peace and forgiveness they had sought for so long. Armed with nothing more than her faith in Ethan and a deep sense of purpose, Serena ventured into the darkness of the forest beyond Silvercrest, searching for any sign or clue that might lead her to the spirits of the town's founder. As she walked deeper and deeper into the wilderness, she began to feel a strange sensation washing over her body. It was as if she could sense the presence of something powerful lurking just beneath the surface of reality. Finally, after hours of searching, Serena stumbled upon an ancient stone circle that seemed to have been untouched by time itself. As she approached the circle, she felt a wave of warmth and love wash over her, a feeling so overwhelming that it took her breath away. In the center of the stone circle stood two figures, Jonathan and Eleanor, their faces illuminated by an otherworldly glow. As Serena looked upon them, she knew that this was where they had been waiting all along, ready to finally find the peace and forgiveness they so desperately sought. "I know that I can't undo the past or bring you both back to life," Serena said softly, reaching out to touch Jonathan's hand. "But I promise that I will do everything in my power to honor your memory and carry on your legacy." As she spoke these words, Serena felt a sudden surge of energy coursing through her veins, a reminder that she was now a part of something much bigger than herself. And as she stood there beneath the stars, surrounded by the love and compassion of her fellow Silvercrest residents, she knew that Ethan would always be with her, guiding her every step of the way. In the years that followed, Serena continued to lead her town down a path of progress and prosperity. She opened new schools, hospitals, and businesses, and as she watched the people of Silvercrest grow and thrive under her watchful eye, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment that far exceeded anything she could have ever imagined. But even as she looked back on all that she had achieved, Serena knew that there would always be more work to do, for the love and compassion that Ethan had inspired in her was something that would never truly fade away. And so, as long as she drew breath, she vowed to keep his memory alive by continuing to serve her fellow Silvercrest residents with the same unwavering dedication and passion. In the end, Serena's legacy lived on through the love and unity that bound together the people of Silvercrest, a testament to the power of one person's sacrifice and the enduring spirit of hope that it inspired in others. And as long as there were still hearts beating within the town's walls, she knew that Ethan's memory would always be alive and well, just waiting for someone like her to carry on his dreams for a better future.